Who is it?
It's the player diary.
What, that's your name?
Steve from the player diary, Joe.
Steve who?
Steve Jones.
Hey, Steve.
Hi, Joe.
Thanks. Steve, can you hear me? Steve?
Yeah.
Do you mind if we just do it behind closed doors? Come in.
Hi, Joe. Thanks for joining us on the player diary. Roommates together. What's that like rooming with Joe Marler, Danny?
Thank you.
Okay, sorry.
It's a fantastic environment. As you see, we've got the suite, so we've got one bed in here, one bed in the other rooms. So I think the big dogs get the big rooms. So yeah, happy that I'm rooming with Joe because that's what you get when you're with him.
You've spoken about Danny before, Joe, being a lovely roommate, peaceful sleeper, delightful sleeper, I think you said. Still the same when he's away on this tour?
Yeah.
Can you lower the mic a little bit?
Yeah, it's an enjoyable experience. He's really easygoing, very laid back. You know, when I'm not in the mood to talk or when he's not in the mood to talk, we're aware of each other's surroundings and just leave us be. So it works quite well, I think. It's like balancing, you know, yin and yang, Adam and Eve, flower and soap.
Conversation about babies, of course. Joe, you just recently had a baby. Danny, you've got one on the way. Is that a topic of conversation?
Yeah.
You've been offering Danny any advice?
On babies,
You have to be fair.
have I been all right? Yeah, we've had brief moments. Obviously, you know, it's a shock to the system.
If
one-
Joe can
but-
do it, I'm hoping that I might be all right. It's a good motto I'm going by. But he's a wonderful dad. All I hear is him FaceTiming and the baby crying and shouting.
What do you mean if Joe can do it?
I just think you're an incredible father.
I mean, look, as a father.
You're a father.
As a father.
And you're an incredible one.
I think Danny's going to have a great time. And I wish you and your partner all the best.
Thank you, Joe.
Now, Danny, you sent Joe a note, didn't you, before the first test the other day? Can you talk a bit about why you did that and what was in the note?
How do you know about this note?
You put it out on social media.
Yeah, you did.
Oh, yeah.
It was kind of a jovial note, but at the same time had a few nice meanings. Obviously, Joe and I are quite close, and I've watched his career and been very impressed and very proud to see him get to where he has. So it was just a little note to show him that I care about him, and I was looking forward to watching him play. And I was obviously gutted not to be able to play myself.
When did you get the note? Was it tucked in your pocket? Did you find it in your boots?
Yeah, mate, it inspired me to go to sleep really well because I got it after the game. I got in and it was on the bed, and I read it out and I was like, oh my God, that's awesome. I went, Deece, the game was a couple of hours ago. I was like, yeah, sorry mate, I didn't realise you'd left.
Yeah, I left it too late. But I think he knew it was there.
But
the thought counts.
subconsciously, I think it had, you know, I could feel it in here.
Yeah.
And that's why he now has me above his bed.
Danny, you're in charge of the music on the team bus, I've noticed as well.
Yes, I am.
How's that going down so far?
I think it's going quite well. We've got a good mix. Myself, Ed Slater and Carl Eastman, so there's a little bit of everything in there. It's hard to keep 47 lads happy. There's always a few disappointed faces when the song comes on, but overall I think we're doing all right, are we?
Thoughts, Joe? Thoughts, Joe, on that?
Yeah, I think he's doing a grand job.
What's your role? Have you got one?
In the
world
bus. Or
on the bus.
in the bus. On the bus, no role.
Your mate Johnny May does Story of the Day. What are your thoughts on that?
Does
so far?
yeah.
Anything good? What's his best story been?
My colleague Johnny May has done some fantastic stories. What was one that stand out about? There's no such thing as good news or bad news, just news. It's not good or bad. It's just news. You'll have to ask him for the motto, the thingy.
Oh, we should, because it's a player diary brief you just touched on today. Can you just explain why one of you has outside in the rain training hard, and the other one of you was stretching and chucking balls around on the inside. Can you explain?
Well, it was only my third session since I've been here due to the injury. But yeah, the lads who played at the weekend and who played the majority of the game were just doing stretching and a bit of limbering up, 'cause obviously some sore bodies, and us lads who haven't played, we went out there and had a really good session. So no, it was good fun in the rain today.
Just finally, last time you were on the player diary together, Danny, you filmed Joe getting scared when Haas jumped out of a towel bin.
Hey Joe, what are you doing? What's that with you? What's he doing that for? What? The inside line? Yeah, why is he filming?
What are your memories of that, Joe? What are your memories?
It wasn't set up at all.
You were genuinely scared.
No, it wasn't, mate. It was a set up.
It was one of the finest moments.
It was a great moment.
All right, well, you got me. You caught me off guard, but you haven't got me since. Because I've since been on my guard, haven't I?
I think we're going to be scared tomorrow night, aren't we? We're going to Spookers tomorrow night.
You're much better at your job than I thought you were, because you like making things lead on to another thing and just doing about it. So, yeah, we're going to be well scared tomorrow, apparently. Have you been before, Dan?
I've not been to Spookers before, but apparently it's terrifying.
Luther, Tom, thanks for joining us on the player diary in Auckland. It's been a horrendous day of weather today, but you're inside with a coffee now. But double rugby, one of you was inside though for the morning. Luther, do you care to explain what was going on?
Yeah, I think it's been a pretty good day for us backs all round. This morning we managed to get ourselves off to a gym inside, played a bit of basketball to warm up, and played a bit of touch and pass and had a bit of a chat. Whereas I think Woody and his forwards was a bit more gruesome.
What's your reaction when you hear that, Tom? Is that everything you expected to hear?
Yeah, standard really, isn't it? Yeah, I think Wig was praying for snow and sleet. I don't think it was quite wet enough for us today.
The best thing for us backs this morning was the fact that when we were driving past the training ground, Faz got on the mic and said, "Just have a look to your left, lads." They were forwards chucking down rain.
Would you still want to be playing the game if you were a forward, do you think, Luther?
Yes.
Liar.
But then double rugby, and it's an important session, is it? What do you do in the afternoon when you get together all as a team?
Generally put things together, attacking maps and plays, things that we're trying to construct ready for the opposition, and then defensively just do everything as a team, because it's one thing, working on your line outs or your set piece. It's the link between the two. It's the gap between the tail of the line out and the back line and what have you. So everyone's got to be in sync on those things. So just drilling those.
And getting in the combinations you're going to be playing in the weekend, presumably. Tuesday's a session you can get into those combos, Luther.
Yeah, it's a pretty important day for us, obviously, to get the players out of the way and get the partnerships and get everything sort of on the same script. Like I say, for the backs this morning, it was more through skills, and this is our big session for an afternoon where we can obviously work with the team and get the playbook down to a T.
There's an awful lot of players here as well, 46 I think. Does it competition for places really feel like more than ever on this tour?
Yeah, I think for me personally, it's a huge tour for me, and obviously trying to build on the back of what was Six Nations. And for me, it's always the competition's always been there for me, and that's all I know. So
we spoke in Paris before Luther made his debut, and you gave him the big one. He's done not too bad, hasn't he?
Yeah, he's lived up to expectations, definitely, and like he says, he's got some tough competition out there, but he's more than holding his own, and he's really put his hand up with some quality tries. And I know from Saints days, what a physical presence he is in the midfield, and that's crucial in international rugby.
Having two Saints here as well, it would be remiss not to talk about the end of the season. Luther, what was that like? That winning 2 cups in as many weeks?
Yeah, it was brilliant. I think from the semi-final to Woody obviously winning that game for us in the last stage of the game.
Quite a celebration, wasn't it?
Yeah, quite a celebration. So from there,
quiet. Yeah. Don't score many. That was me low key. That was.
Yeah. And I just think from there, as a team, we managed to build, and going into the Amlin final, it was fantastic, and we took a lot of confidence from the Leicester game, and managed to put that to bed and get the first bit of silverware in the cabinet, and to then build on top of that and get into the Premiership final and play 100 minutes and win in the last minute was was fantastic, and it was such a huge occasion for me and everybody that was involved in Northampton. It was fantastic.
You mentioned Saracens, you mentioned the club environment earlier. How have they all been? What was it like on the flight over? You had a 24-hour, 36-hour flight or something together?
Yeah, it didn't really get spoken about, to be honest. From my behalf, anyway, it was a question. It was sort of a subject that never really got brought up.
So it's about mutual respect.
Yeah.
I think in the past there's stuff goes on off the field, and you try and use it against one another, and there's that rivalry at club level. But for myself, I know the likes of Billy Vunipola, well, played alongside him, Owen Farrell. There's that mutual respect, and then it just doesn't happen the way people perhaps think it does. That you're going to turn up on the, as you're prepared to fly and start getting stuck into each other and things. It just, everyone knows they've poured their heart and soul into it, and if anything, you feel for them because it's a cruel way to lose a game. They've given just as much as you, and the result hasn't gone their way, but on another day it could have done. And
maybe got into Ashley a little bit, that's about it.
Yeah, but you do that, win or lose, whatever. Yeah. So
You've got a new saint, of course, in the squad this time. Alex Waller, your roommate. Tell me a little bit about him, Tom.
Yeah, he's a good lad. He's a top roommate, particularly good for me because all we've done so far in our spare time is watch endless footage of stalking, shooting, fishing.
Great crack, that.
Yeah, how to sharpen things, talking about the Coriolis effect. All the stuff that every lad would do in his spare time.
Is that what's going on with you and Courtney?
Courtney's got mission control set up. He's got a permanent Horlicks in the corner, just brewing away. Caribbean heat turned right to max. No windows open. No lights on.
I must have lost like 2K with the room.
You open the door and it just goes.